And good afternoon. There's brother Jack Dawson. How you doing, brother Jack Dawson? How you doing, man? It's great to see you. Great to see you. A Sunday afternoon. Here we go. So, first thing is memory eternal to Hall of Famer Bill Mazeroski. We lost him yesterday, so another great one going to the big baseball diamond in the sky. So, yeah. So, but I was thinking about that too. Like, I mean, because I've said a few times, maybe Maz, as far as Maz in the Hall of Fame. But you know what? I mean, you look over his defense and stuff like that. And, maybe I think a lot in baseball, we always sort of look at those offensive numbers. The man turned more double plays than any second baseman in Major League history. We know Ozzie Smith largely in there for his defense. I've had a little rethink. Not that I never thought Mazeroski would. I mean, he was a great player. I've said, known for that. I think I fell into that trap, and it's kind of a bit of a paradigm shift. And I, thinking a lot about what JT Dutch was talking about. Maz just about a week ago, and it's a great Hall of Famer. And is he Ty Cobb? Is he Babe Ruth? No, but I don't think that, maybe it's not fair to make those comparisons, but rather comparing him to other, second basemen and what they did. But so memory eternal to Bill Mazeroski. So while many people do know you for that home run in 1960, it was great defense. Contemporaries saying he had a really strong arm, great hands. In fact, apparently such a good second baseman that Bob Prince just called him the Glove. Other players saying there's nothing could get past Mazeroski and stuff like that. So I remember having this paradigm shift before about Rick Farrell, who's in the Hall of Fame, and really for defense. And I think that while on the surface it doesn't seem it's something that's really exciting. Nonetheless, I think it is. So that being said, I'm just looking over these all-time rosters, and that's why I decided to do this. So this is not the Myths League that I have on my other PC, which I should move over. But what I've thought for a long time is that the all-time great Quickstart that comes with out of the park baseball is so off, like so wrong. It just really is. And I thought it'd be fun, and maybe this would be just a kind of over a number of broadcasts to see folks come in and say, hey, let's look at the roster of my favorite squad. Well, let's bring this guy in. Let's put this guy in the reserves or send this guy down. So, I mean, I'm looking at the Pittsburgh Pirates here. And no knock on Jack Wilson, but I don't really think Jack Wilson really qualifies for an all-time great Pittsburgh Pirate team. And Phil Garner, I mean, Bill Mazeroski is like not on here. And I think he should be. I really do. So I thought it would just be a lot of fun to just kind of, maybe look at bringing some people up, moving some people down, retiring some people, things like that. So looking at the reserve roster here, so some of the some of the all-time greats teams that were done for this quick start in out of the park baseball were pretty good. One thing I fixed, I have to fix on it every year. I want to fix it for final and for good, and maybe even post it up in the out of the park forums and say, look, this is thanks to a community effort. This is, I think, what it should be. I mean, Bill Mazeroski sitting on the bench, and Phil Garner. I think we're just going to make a little trade here. Boom, there we go. So we're going to get Maz up there in second base, as I think he should be. Evan Meek, no, I don't think so. I really, really don't think so. I think I'd rather have Vern Law up there than I mean. I realize the numbers, but there's much better. Look, there's Dave Justice sitting on the bench. Why? Evan Meek. I mean, look at Evan Meek's real life stats here as a pitcher, right? I mean, there's just not. I don't know what's the deal here. What's the deal, right? I mean, so he played for Pittsburgh from 2008 to 2012. What's he doing on an all-time great Pirate team? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm actually thinking of giving Evan Meek we're just going to release him. He's going. He is released. He's gone. Boom. So now we got to replace him. And yeah. So there's Roy Face, maybe Roy Face. Because I think that the statistics are kind of skewed for 4 years and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just here to BS in baseball. And if nobody shows up, well, okay, nobody shows up. And people show up, that's good too. But I'm going to fix this for a while, at least on mic here, you know. Yeah. So looking at pitching here, I mean, Mike Williams. I mean, I don't know who decided like what Out of the Park Baseball did to create this. I think they just threw it together. I mean, this guy had 4 years with the Pirates. He's largely had 4 years, traded to Houston, then back to Pittsburgh. But I mean, you look at these numbers here. He had some high save numbers. 2002, 46 saves with the 2002 Pittsburgh Pirates. But I don't know. I'm a little bit about this all-time greats league, and I was thinking, well, I could just use some of the other ones I've seen in other games, and maybe just do that. I don't know, but I'm not going to need as much help with the Pittsburgh Pirates. But I'm hoping that we get some White Sox fans in here, and we get some Reds fans and Red Sox, and the Yankees are pretty much right. Red Sox, Yankees, but whatever. So yeah, that's it. I don't know if there's who else is doing that or doing things. I'm kind of happy with the starting rotation here, although I wouldn't mind actually bringing up Steve Blass and sending Bob Veal, I think, to sending Veal to the bullpen. I think is going to be a little better. So, but I'm just going to hang out for a little bit. There's no pocket pennant run baseball. I thought it was supposed to be released last night, according to Paul, without fail. But I guess apparently they must have run into some snags. So another week of not playing pocket pennant run baseball, which kind of bums me out because I love that game so much. So let me know what you guys are playing in the comments, and if you're catching us after the fact. Give me some names of some of the players you think should be on an all-time greats team, and we'll put them there. The best one I've run across was not only that Myths League that I had before on the other PC, which I should just import into this, but the one that's actually in Baseball for Windows. And I was thinking, maybe I should just consult that, find the season for that player, and just import them that way, since you can, that's something that's very, very easy to do. I don't know. But this has always bugged me in Out of the Park Baseball. It really, really has. And I think we're just going to put Bob Veal somewhere. Like Celio Guante. I mean, what, I don't know. I really, really don't know what I want to do here with these guys yet. So not even sure why I'm on here today. Just because I guess I missed everybody. I don't know. So I only got Jack hanging out here and 2 other people just being really quiet. Maybe you're expecting a game. We can always do that, but I do got to move some of these people down. They just got to go. And some of these people that are sitting on the bench, because I also want these to be more, I guess, representative of each team, what have you. The Pirates, were never blessed with great pitching, but like Dave Giusti, sitting on the bench. I'm not seeing that, just not seeing it. So we're going to place him on the active roster. So there, he's there. Yeah. So, who do I want to move down out of here? So Celio Guante, just no. No, we're gonna send him to the reserves. They get their chance later on, and because I don't know, I just think that when you if you think of the Pirates, you're going to probably think of Roy Face more than you're going to think of Celio Guante. So I don't want to go just by stats, but I want to go by identifiable players. I don't think Phil Garner. So Phil Garner, right? Good old scrap iron. He's I don't I associate Garner more with the Houston Astros. I mean, Garner was a very important part of that 1979 Pittsburgh Pirate championship. But you clearly see here that he had more seasons with the Houston Astros than he did with the Pittsburgh Pirates. So not even Guante's family would put him in the all-time great. How you doing, H Field? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is just the one. This all-time greats team, and like I said, I had a better one, and I should just, rather than do this, I should just import the one that I have that I was using on my other PC. But I've always wanted to fix this one. So when you first fire up Out of the Park Baseball, and if you use that all-time great Quickstart, you're going to notice glaring omissions like Ernie Banks. So I fixed that again in this version. Ernie Banks not on the all-time great Cubs team. I mean, that was really, really strange to me. Very, very strange. So what? So I'm going to send Garner down. I'm going to put him on. In fact, I'm going to just release Phil Garner outright gone. And I'm glad to see George Grantham here. At least somebody out of the park did his or her research. He was a very, very fine second baseman. And I figure with Grantham and Maz, I'm pretty good there. Third base, I only have one third baseman. There's only one third baseman on the active roster. Or no, there's two. There's Pie Trainer. I had to get out. So we're okay at third. Jack Wilson at short. He's not going to get playing time because I can play Wagner, and I've got a great starting shortstop. But again, Jack Wilson. I mean, Jack Wilson, most of his career with the Pittsburgh Pirates, but there's nothing here that really stands out that I would say, okay, this is an all-time franchise great, Jack Wilson. And just because that I can put Archie Vaughn, play him at short, and I got Wagner I could put in there and what have you, I'm just going to release him. So just release him. He is gone. He's gone. So that frees up. Yeah. I like that they added your request from a few years ago when you import being able to choose your range of 1, 3, or 5. Yeah, exactly. I think that's a great idea. It's a great idea. There's a great all-time greats franchise thing that was done for Out of the Park 24. But it's like I would have to install 24, bring it into 25, and then bring it into 26. And I really don't, and then of course I have Out of the Park 27 because, with the beta testing thing, I really don't feel like having 4 Out of the Park baseballs installed at the same time. I just don't want to do that. Mike Williams, I mean, come on. Yeah, you're gone, dude. You're just released. I found that this is the Pirates have been really, it's really kind of, I mean, I would almost rather, I mean, like bring up somebody like, Howie Chemnitz from the dead ball era, because it just makes sense. I do want to bring up Lloyd Wainer. I think Lloyd Wainer is here. Yep, he is here. So Lloyd Wainer, I'm going to bring Lloyd Wainer up. I don't know how much. Center field, I've got McCutcheon, and that's it in center field. So I do need another center fielder, nonetheless. So between Van Slyke and Wayner, um, do I want contact Van Slyke with a bit more power? They're very, very similar. One's a Hall of Famer. So painstakingly made one with 4,000 all-time great players you kept from 21 to 24. I think then they changed the ratings to 550 and it wrecked the ratings and imported to that version. Yeah, I think I saw yours, man. And I think I looked at it now, the Park 21, and it was great. It really, really was great. But I mean, just every year I have found this to be a really problematic roster, not only for the Pirates but for others. And while I'm thinking about this, I'm going to bring up Lloyd Wayner. I mean, Van Slyke's on the reserve list. I'm not going to knock him off of there, of course. So there. Now I'm good at center. Right field is not an issue for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I've got just crazy left field. You got Roberto Clemente up here. Let me sort these by position. A little easier to look at. We got Clemente and Wayner up on the active list. Paul Wayner. Paul Wayner was an amazing player. Hey, Mike, how you doing, man? So Moreno possibly. I'm going to look at Moreno. Afternoon all. Stoked to catch a live broadcast. Um, Memory Eternal Maz. Yeah, we can do. We could do. Just turn around, just do a broadcast. I just want to get on and hang out. So, Michael, again, there's a case to be made for Omar Moreno, certainly. Um, in fact, he's not even on this reserve roster. See if he's on any team in this league. I have no idea. He might not be. But I know that these sorts of leagues aren't really popular with a lot of folks, but it is what it is. So Omar Moreno is not on anybody's squad. So that would be an interesting, not Omar the Outmaker. So, Mike, I wanted to answer your question about those 1920 Pirates, the Pirates of the 1920s. They're a strong team. They're fun. They are a fun team. They hardly got along with one another, according to contemporaries, and yet somehow managed to win a world championship in 25. Got swept by the Yankees in 27, but they were always in contention. The Pirates were still strong in the 1920s. Actually, the Pirates don't start really going downhill until you get into the mid to late 40s, and then the dreadful 50s decade, but then things start coming back in the 60s. So there is that. But yeah, I really like it. He was pretty elite, but I guess watching Mets the Yankees spring training game. Nice. Go Mets. Yeah, I mean, he was. I mean, I should have Baseball Reference up here next to me. Or, I mean, what I can do is just use right in here and I can look at all these rosters and see. But I like to see, and go and look at his whole career. I mean, you can do that in Out of the Park Baseball as well. Hey, Aaron Reed, how you doing? I mean, let's look at Omar Moreno here. So let's go to league history. Let's go to index, and let's look for Moreno. Hopefully, this has everything in here. Okay. So this is not what I'm looking for. I'm used to the other one. Yeah, this one. So that's the other thing. Their all-time great H Field doesn't have. So I mean, I'd have to bring up Baseball Reference to really do this, because this is not the one that was set up before, and the one that I used so much in Out of Park 25 was amazing, and that might have been yours. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure where I got it, but it was real good. But it won't directly import into Out of Park 26. So, oh, no knock on Omar Moreno. No mark on Omar Moreno at all, Michael. Really, really, just an excellent player. An excellent player. But if you guys rather do a game, we can do a game. Checking out the roster, our Pirates team is a combination of the best Pirates individual seasons of 1929, 1929. Hoping to get the whole league done within a week or two. Yeah, and in the community, I'm actually very happy that you're right messing, getting into some 1920, because 1920s baseball was really good, but it doesn't seem to fly. Hardly anybody plays any 1920s baseball. But it's a transitional decade, and that's where you see you have where dead ball doesn't just end, with the introduction of the live ball in 1920. There's still dead ball tactics going on, and you see that those dead ball players were all of a sudden they were able to adapt. Ty Cobb and Speaker and whomever, right? Rogers Hornsby, and then of course the advent of the modern slugger, with Babe Ruth and then Lou Gehrig coming into the mix, and Jimmy Fox, and so on and so forth. And I think the 1920. Am I a Pirates fan? That's my team. Yes, that is my team. Yes, indeed. Memory eternal, Bill Mazeroski. By all accounts, a very humble man. Don Kelly, Pittsburgh Pirate manager, was talking about him yesterday, and a great, great defensive second baseman. It does. Yeah, 1930. Yeah, it does. The 1920s do get. I mean, you had some great pennant races. The 1920 pennant race is amazing. I know that only like two people here in our baseball family would watch it, but a 1920 replay would be amazing. I've got 1929 Philadelphia Athletics in Strat Max, and it's just really fun. I love 1920s baseball, but it's just I guess it is that thing. It's like the whole 1930s and boom boom boom. Yeah. Um, but I might just do it anyhow. Take the Dwayne Martz attitude and just do it. And if people want to do it, they'll show up. They'll show up. I'm gonna leave Jason Kendall with the Pirates, I think. I just want to look at his real life stats. So yeah, I mean Kendall is pretty much mostly I think for most people identifiable as a Pittsburgh Pirates. So that's what I'm looking for too. But let me say this, and let me show you some of the other rosters. Since Aaron is here, let's go and let's look at the Cincinnati Reds. And let's look at like just who's here, right? So, I mean, Pete Rose, Eric Davis, Ed Roush, George Foster, Griffey Sr., Barry Larkin, Aaron Boone, Heine Grove, Ben McPhee, Joe Morgan. So does Sean Casey belong as an all-time great Red? I don't know. But Klaczewski, Votto, Bench, Hargrave, Lombardi, Dibble, Brantley, Carroll, Chapman. So it was pretty well done here for the Reds. What's interesting are the people. So Tony Perez is on the bench, which I don't know. I mean, I almost want to send Aaron Boone down and bring up Tony Perez is what I want to do. So where's Concepcion? Let me sort this. Yeah, but let's do it like this. That's better. Sorty. So Dave Concepcion is not on the main roster. In fact, there's just Barry Larkin. So Concepcion, where are you? So he's a reserve player. I think he's got to come up. I think the Reds need another shortstop regardless. So we're going to promote Concepcion. There, he's on the active roster now. And I've got to change everything because they're one over. But yeah, so Concepcion's up there, and Aaron Boone at third. I don't know. I mean, looking here. So Don Hoke is interesting. He's one of these people that I associate. I think of Don Hoke as a Pittsburgh Pirate, but Don Hoke, because so he only had 2 seasons with the Cincinnati Reds. So what's he doing with the Cincinnati Reds? Well, it could be that maybe these years. Well, I don't know. With Pittsburgh, he had 16 home runs in 1960. Teammate of Bill Mazeroski, of course, and in 61. So his best season with the Reds, he hit 19 home runs in 1957. 58, that drops off to 6. And his RBI total goes from 89 to 50. I don't consider Don Hoke. I don't associate him with the Cincinnati Reds. So send Boone down. As a Yankees fan, he's a horrible manager. That's easy enough to do. I just got to put somebody up there. So let's send Aaron Boone down and bring up Tony Perez. Why not? I have no trouble with that. I'll send him down. So you are going to the reserve roster. Tony Perez will come to the big club or come to the active roster. So there we go. Joey Votto, yeah, of course. He's, the Reds, it's Joey Votto. But like Hal Morris at first base. So, and the thing is so Sean Casey, you're going down. I'm sorry. Because we have Ted Kluszewski and Joey Votto. Sean Casey is not going to get playing time. I mean, just not going to happen. Nothing against Sean Casey, but he's going to go to the reserve roster. So I mean, the Reds look pretty good here. They really, really do. I know Paul O'Neill's wearing the Yankee hat. Paul O'Neill's one of those guys, though, that so he's like Kai Kyler and Rogers Hornsby. He could be a Cincinnati Red or a New York Yankee. He had more games with the Yankees, certainly, because he had that extra season, kind of like Kyler. So O'Neill's a toss-up. I think I'm going to leave him with Cincinnati because the Yankees are already stacked up. So I think it's fair to keep Paul O'Neill as a Cincinnati Red. Again, great careers with both clubs, So there's that. Making these things are fun because of the decisions that you kind of do have to make. Vada Pinson, when you got George Foster and Griffey Sr. on there, Pinson, I just don't think is going to get enough playing time. But that's where, you guys are going to be really helpful. Again, this is really good. What I would probably, I'd like to bring up Bucky Walters, but you got Cueto, Jackson, Rijo, Soto, and Vandermeer as your 5-man rotation. So talking about Aaron Boone, Mike says, don't love him, makes some weird decisions, in my opinion, doesn't hold players accountable sometimes, but that might be modern baseball, yeah. So Wagner card sold for $5 million. Not surprised. They just found another one 3 years ago. And it was legit. They found it in, I think, the bottom of a staircase in a something or other. I don't know. So there's hope springs eternal, right? So I think the Reds look really good. The Reds are fine. I don't think I'm going to mess much more with the Reds. And I'm kind of keeping everybody. I know I have a Hall of Famer over here, Eparixi, but I think I'm going. I think they're good. I think the Reds are good. So I'm going to keep the Reds. Tom Browning. Okay, let's find Tom Browning. Where's Tom Browning? Where are you, Tom Browning? Hang down your head, Tom Browning. Is he anywhere on here? I don't see him. So let's see if he's on. Tom Browning might not even be in the league. Kind of like Brooklyn. Is Brooklyn still in the league? I don't know. Let's see where he is, if anywhere. Yeah, so he's not even here. He's not in this all-time great league at all. Do you think he's worthy? Because we're talking about kind of creating an all-time greats. And I mean, Ed Roush, he's always there. Pete Rose. I know he played for the Phillies, but Pete Rose is a Red. To me, Pete Rose is a Cincinnati Red. Even if he had more years with another club, there's just players. He's a Cincinnati Red. But Heine Groh, Hall of Famer, Perez, Concepcion, Larkin, Foster, Griffey Sr., Ernie Lombardi. Now we got 3 catchers. You got Johnny Bench and Ernie Lombardi. Do you want? Is Hargrave going to get any time? Oh, Bubbles Hargrave here. Is he going to get any time? We can set that where he would get some playing time. Kluszewski and Votto at first. Second baseman, you got McPhee and Morgan. I think you're good there. Third base, Joe Morgan, Heine Groh. Third base, Heine Groh and Tony Perez. Morgan and McPhee at second. At short, you got Concepcion and Larkin. Left field, you got Foster and Griffey Sr. Center, Eric Davis and Ed Roush. And in right field, you got Paul O'Neill. And I mean, I think the Reds are solid. Reds are solid. So let's go to another club. So another glaring omission with these, whoever did the Cubs, they didn't know the Cubs and they didn't know the Pirates. So there's some good guys over here on the reserve roster, but what really was weird was that I had to add him in here. Did I do that on this version? Maybe I didn't. I got to bring him in. Yeah, who don't you see here? Who don't you see? Right, Mr. Cub. So I don't know who was doing the research for this, but how can you not have Ernie Banks on here? I don't know who designed this, who did this. I mean, he's not here. He's not here. But but Bob Howry's here. Now again, he's a pitcher, but Bob Howry. So the Cubs roster is really like subpar. Really subpar. Needs a lot of work. So yeah, you got to have Three Finger Brown there, of course. Hippo Vaughn, of course, you got to have him there. Yes. Sutcliffe, sure. But so here's some of the people on the bench. So you got Jody Davis on the bench, but you got Hartnett, Sovo, Rick Wilkins. I mean, I don't know. I'm just Stan Hack. Stan Hack plays so great in just about every damn baseball sim ever. And there's only one third baseman, Ron Santo. So I think Stan Hack gets moved up to the active roster. So he is. There we go. Yeah, you can't. And so I've got to import Ernie Banks. And I think it's going to be Ernie Banks of 1958. I think is the season that I want, or the season that I want for him. So, or I could just skip the season and do the whatever. But I just find that very weird. But you know what? Let's do a game because my brain hurts. I'm just going to say this. This is going to be a long-term project. Let's save the game. Let's go back to the Owl Park start screen and see what I have on here. So we can play. I got to get rid of that test league. We got some 1974 Pirates, 2015 Buccos. We got there's a Milwaukee Brewers here with the 1982 doing this just for folks in the family, whatever they want. We got our 1904 World Series, but we'll do that tonight. We get the 1994 American League play, and why don't we can just have fun with that if you want. I don't know. Let's muck about. Let's see. As Aaron says, you cannot have a Cubs all-time great without Ernie Banks. No, you can't. And it was. I think it was Hornsby wasn't on the Cardinals or something like that. So I've got to unshare for a moment, and I'll reshare again just because I've got to set up the sound. So let's stop the screen share, and let's share a screen. I got to do this bit too. There we go. I should just do a. We should set up 1960 just so we can have Bill Mazeroski. But memory eternal, Bill Mazeroski. Got to plan something really fun and cool for him. Okay, there we go. And let's Do entire screen and here and share and boom. There we go. And put you guys back over there. Put you guys back over there. Yeah, good. Hornsby was just ridiculous for multiple teams, Mike. Absolutely. And again, you know, I mostly think of Rogers Hornsby as a St. Louis Cardinal, but you know, he also played very well for the Cubbies. Let's see what we have on here for a quick game. Let me see. Well, we got Braves and Reds. This is 1974. So Braves and Reds. Roy Harrison for the Braves. Don Gullett for Cincinnati. So we could certainly do that. Anything else interesting here that we could do would be a fun one. Tigers, Orioles, Joe Coleman, Dave McNally could be fun. Let's do that one. Let's do Tigers and Orioles. Unless you guys see something else interesting. Oh, what about we could do Holtzman versus Jenkins. This would be Athletics and Rangers. So Fergie Jenkins now, you know, again. How about, oh no, here we go. Indians versus Yankees. Gaylord Perry against Mel Stottlemyre. You guys cool with that? You guys cool with that? I'm kind of either Indians, Yankees, or Tigers, Orioles. Little American League action, yeah. All right. Mike says, sure, let's do it. All right. Should be a lot of fun, I hope. All right. For the Cleveland Indians here, we are in 1974. Is this what, I guess this is when they were doing the 74. Yeah, because Mike Silva gets these right. This must be when they were doing all the when the Yankees were playing in Shea, because that's like the renovations they were doing to old Yankee Stadium or whatever. Regardless, that's what the game is going to be. All right, for the visiting Cleveland Indians, leading off in left field, John Lowenstein, batting second in DH. Oscar Gamble batting third at center field. George Hendrick in the cleanup spot and catching John Ellis. Batting fifth at right field, Charlie Spikes. Batting sixth, first base, Chris Chambliss. Batting seventh, third base, Buddy Bell. Frank Duffy at short, batting eighth. And Remy Hermoso batting ninth at second base. Todd B's favorite players in this game. Tail end of Stottlemyre's career was kind of wasted on bad Yankees teams of 66 to 70-ish. Hometown New York Yankees. Playing in Queens, though, not in the Bronx. Roy White leads off in left field, batting second, Mike Hagan at first. Thurman Munson catching and batting third. Cleanup in center field, Bobby Mercer. Batting fifth in right field, Ron Blomberg batting sixth. Third baseman, Greg Nettles. Batting seventh and DHing Bill Sudakis. Batting eighth at second base, Gene Michael. And batting ninth at shortstop, Jim Mason. So both Gaylord Perry and Mel Stottlemyre making their first starts of the year. So this is something that I just started not too long ago. And where's just good old wide? I don't want wide TV. I guess we'll just go with default and see what we got. Let's go. Okay, yeah, that's weird. Don't want that. So, park pick. There we go. I like the park pick camera. That's a nice one. What a nice looking ballpark this is, huh? All right, we're ready. Starting defense for the New York Yankees here in 1974. Let's check our weather here on April 6, 1974. So attendance here at Shea is 31,203. Clear sky, 48 degrees. Wind left to right at 10 miles per hour. At game time, Roy White in left field, Bobby Mercer in center, wielding the Gold Glove. And Ron Blomberg in right, Mike Hagan at first, Gene Michael at second, Jim Mason at short, Craig Nettles at third, Thurman Munson, the other Gold Glover on this team behind the dish. Mel Stottlemyre will face John Lowenstein leading things off here for the Cleveland Indians. And let's do a little fly around here and play some baseball. Hendrick was a heck of a hitter nobody talks about. Yep. All right, here we go. The 1-0 delivery. Lowenstein swings, and this one popped high. Foul territory around the home plate area, and Thurman Munson has it for out number 1. We're underway. All right, here's Oscar Gamble, good contact hitter. Pretty decent power here. Gamble in the DH spot. 1-1 pitch. Swung on. This one line to third, and Craig Nettles gloves it for out number 2. Here's George Hendrick, just talking about George Hendrick. So let's talk about George Hendrick a little bit. Let's look at his real-life stats here. Pretty good career here, 1971 to 1988. 267 lifetime home runs, 1,111 RBI. So let me see. Let's look at his batting. So a 278 hitter. I mean, yeah, this guy was pretty good, man. He was pretty good. Why he doesn't get a lot of love, boy, I just don't know. I don't know. So career high, 21. Well, actually, I don't know. Okay, 25 homers, and that came with Cleveland in 1976. So yeah, I mean, just quite a fine player. Not Hall of Fame, but George Hendrick, you know, good stuff. So, Mike, thank you for reminding us about George Hendrick. All right, and here we go. Here's the pitch. And I don't know where the sound went. That was weird. There it is. Fly ball, center field, racing back is Mercer, and he has it for out number 3. The Indians go quietly, and we go to the bottom of the first inning. Cleveland nothing, the Yankees coming to bat. And let me get rid of this, and I've got to fix something here. Sometimes this just drives me nuts. And add to scene again. There we go. Now we should be okay. Let's hide this. Sometimes EVMUX just does weird shit. All right. And sorry. I'm trying to pop these out. I'm using a very, 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 very tiny monitor just to look at chat. Okay. There we go. Yep, OPS plus are impressive. All right. So we got John Lowenstein in left, George Hendrick in center, who we just talked about. Charlie Spikes over there in right, Chris Chambliss at first, Remy Hermoso at second, Frank Duffy at short, Buddy Bell at third, John Ellis behind the plate, and Gaylord Perry bringing all kinds of chemicals, lotions, and potions takes the mound. Leading it off here for the New York Yankees is Roy White. Perry into the wind, and here's the pitch. Roy White swings in the first pitch off a sinking liner out to center. In on it is George Hendrick. So 1 up, 1 down now. Here's Mike Hagan. 1-1 on the way to Hagan. And swung on. This one hit deep to center field and all the way to the wall. So Mike Hagan with a 1-out double. George Hendrick racing back hard on that ball and gets a good strong throw in there. But Hagan in there with a 2-bagger. And here's the captain, Thurman Munson. So Munson, looking at his numbers in 1973, 20 home runs, 74 runs batted in, and a 3.01 average. Gaylord Perry brings the 2-1 pitch. Munson swings, and he's going to dump this little Texas leader job into center field. And Thurman Munson with an RBI single, and the Yankees take an early 1-0 lead. So in Out of the Park 27, I will say this, that when you mouse over players, you're going to start seeing additional information, which is really clean and clear to look at, and I love it. It's a completely new interface. Looks nice. I like it. All right, let's talk about Bobby Mercer here. What a weight he had on his shoulders. 22 home runs, 95 runs batted in, a 3.04 average for the 1973 New York Yankees. Count even, 2-2 on Mercer. Mercer swings, and this one's going to hang up there in left field. And Lowenstein back into his left makes the grab for out number 2. Brings up Ron Blomberg now. Blomberg, 12 homers, 57 runs batted in, a 329 average in 1973. Munson aboard. 2-2 pitch. And called strike 3 on the outside corner. That one a little screwball, which of course wasn't a screwball, but probably a Vaseline ball. Anyhow, 1 run on 2 hits, no errors. Top of the second, Yankees 1 and the Indians nothing. Mike Costas, I think in the movie Major League, yeah, I think so too. Eddie Harris and Gaylord Perry. I think you're absolutely spot on that, Mike. I really do. So, guys, don't forget to check out if you're in the Discord, and I know Mike is making his work available also now elsewhere, but he's done all kinds of amazing roster sets and the logos, embroidered logos and everything. He's done a lot of stuff for Action PC Baseball and for Out of the Park Baseball. Check out his great stuff. And also H-Field's great stuff as well. All right, John Ellis will kick things off here for the Cleveland Indians. 14 home runs, 16 ribbies, a 270 average. Stoudemire kicks and fires. 1-1 pitch to Ellis. And just a little squibber down there to third base. And Greg Nettles fires a strike across the diamond to Mike Hagan for the 5-3 putout. Charlie Spikes, check out the sideburns, man. Charlie Spikes, 23 homers, 73 ribbies, a 237 average for him. 1-0 pitch on the way to Spikes. Swung on, routine ground ball, shortstop. Mason up with it and over to Mike Keegan. Chris Chambliss, 11 homers, 53 ribbies, 273 for the Indians in 1973. 1-0 delivery to Chambliss. The lefty swings, and a little soft liner out there into center field. Bobby Mercer has it. No runs, no hits, no errors. Bottom of the second inning. The Yankees lead the Indians 1-0. Beatles, they update the audio and Out of the Park beta at all. I saw Mike Silver posting Out of the Park form to something they should definitely look at upgrading at some point. Yep, I haven't noticed any audio update at all. Unfortunately. Tons and tons. Afternoon, John. Lots and piles and tons of crazy new stats coming into Out of the Park baseball, though. Out of the Park 27. I'm kind of calling this one the Stat Head release, and lots. If you want to get into really deep analysis of your players and things like that, you'll be able to do things in Out of the Park 27 that you really can't do in other ball games. So something to keep in mind if you're thinking long-term projects, thinking player development, things like that. And some nice little graphic interface updates. And again, as I've said, we're not allowed to show gameplay. But if you watch some of the Out of the Park 27 from the official people, you can see that you'll be able to see that when you mouse over a player, the information is the way it's presented is something that I really like. This looks very different now. It looks less cluttered. So, yeah. 2-2 pitch as Perry lets it go to Nettles. And this one, high fly ball and going out on the grass and grabbing it. For the out is Frank Duffy. So 1 away now for Bill Sudakis. In 1973, played with the Texas Rangers. 15 home runs, 43 runs batted in, and a 255 average. Lefty waits for Gaylord Perry. Count full on Sudakis. And Sudakis takes ball 4 inside. So Gaylord Perry that time coming with the Vagisil ball. John, I hope you're doing well. All right, here comes Gene Michael now. Gene Michael batting in the number 8 slot for the New York Yankees. Gene Michael in the previous year hit 3 home runs, 47 runs batted in for him. 2-1 pitch. Michaels ahead in the count, and Michaels hits this with authority to center field, but not quite enough as Hendrick, back on his horse, makes the grab for out number 2. Bill Sudakis, absolutely no speed on at first. And here's the shortstop, Jim Mason, batting at the bottom of the order. Mason with the Texas Rangers in 93 games had 3 home runs, 19 homers. Or three home runs, 19 runs batted in, a 206 average for him. Sudakas at first, 2 down, 1-0 Yankee lead in the bottom of the second. And Mason sends this line drive out to center field, but it's going to hang up there. And George Hendrick, calling off John Lowenstein, will make the grab. So New York Yankees get a walk, strand a man. We go to the top of the third inning. 1-0 Yankees over the Indians here, April 6th, 1974. Buddy Bell, Frank Duffy, and Remy Hermoso do up for the Indians. Buddy Bell, so many bells in baseball. 14 home runs, 59 ribbies, a 268 average. So pretty good year for Cleveland for him in 1973. Count full from Stottlemyre. Buddy Bell swings, and just a little grounder out there to second base. And Gene Michael has it for out number 1. Curveball there by Stottlemyre. Here's Frank Duffy. Frank Duffy, 8 home runs, 50 ribbies, a 263 average. Duffy batting down in the 8th slot. And the pitch, first pitch swung on. Fly ball deep to left field at just short of the track. And Frank White has it. It's a good hustle back there by Frank White, who's going to cover a lot of range out there in left field for you. And here's Remy Hermoso. Let's look at Remy Hermoso's number from so didn't play 1973. Actually, so we're either, let's look at this guy. Where are we? Early, late career, very short career. This is it. So he played in 67, 69, 70, and 74. So up and down, up and down, up and down. So his final year in baseball. All right. 1-0 pitch to Hermoso. Swung on. And lazy fly ball out there to right field. And Blomberg has it in his sights and in his glove. 3 up, 3 down for Cleveland. Bottom of the third inning. Yankees holding on to a 1-run lead. 1-0. Sorry about the water glumping on you there, guys. Once again, memory eternal to Hall of Famer, great second baseman Bill Mazeroski, who went to the Diamond yesterday. Back at the top of the order for the Yankees, Roy White, Mike Hagan, and Thurman Munson do up. Roy White 0-for-1 in the game. He is ahead in the count 2-1. White swings, hard ground ball to first. And up with that one is Chambliss, and he is going to get that over to Gaylord Perry, covering for the 3-1 putout. So 1 down in the bottom of the third brings up Mike Hagan. Hagan 1-for-1. Count full on Hagan, double back in the first. Swung on, and this one, ground ball right through the hole in the right side for Hagan. So runner on now for Thurman Munson. Thurman Munson with an RBI in this game. 0-1 pitch, Munson swings. Tapper back to the mound. Perry goes to second. 1-6-3, inning-ending double play. So New York gets a hit. Everything gets erased on the DP. And we go to the top of the fourth. 1-0 Yankees over the Indians. John Lowenstein back at the top of the order. Oscar Gamble, George Hendrick due up for the Cleveland Indians. Lowenstein 0-for-1. Here's the pitch. 1-1. Routine grounder, 4-3. Gene Michael gets to the ball. 1 up, 1 down, Oscar Gamble. Count 1 ball, no strikes. Gamble cuts on this one. Tapper off the left side of the mound. No problem. Stottlemyre on to Mike Hagan for the 1-3 putout. 2 up, 2 down. George Hendrick now. Count full on Hendrick. Flew out to center last time up. Hendrick would take a walk on the 3-2 pitch. Fastball missing inside by Mel Stottlemyre. John Ellis with a runner on. 3-1 pitch. Ellis pops this up. Foul territory, first base side. And Mike Hagan has the play. And that's it. A walk, a man left. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. 1-0 Yankees. And the Yanks will send up Mercer, Blomberg, and Nettles. Bobby Mercer 0-for-1. 0-2 pitch to the Yankees center fielder. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Fastball. Perry getting one out of the zone. Mercer chasing. Here's Ron Blomberg. Nothing for one. Pitch. And Blomberg golfs this one down to first base. Chambliss will take it to the bag himself. 2 up, 2 down now for Greg Nettles. Here's the pitch from Gaylord Perry. Nettles cuts on the first pitch. High pop fly in the infield, right-hand side. Everybody converging, but it's going to be Remy Hermoso to make the catch. So New York goes quietly and maintaining a 1-0 lead as we head to the top of the 5th inning here. And it'll bring up Charlie Spikes, Chris Chambliss, and Buddy Bell for the Cleveland Indians. And the pitch. And this one hit high out to medium deep center field. And Bobby Mercer calling off Roy White makes the grab. 1 up, 1 down. Here's Chris Chambliss now. And Chambliss, little slow roller up to first. And taking it to the bag himself is Mike Hagan for the 3 innings put out. Here's Buddy Bell. Count 1 ball, 1 strikes on Bell. Bell swings. Grounder to short, slow grounder. But plenty of time there for Mason to retire Bell. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-0 Yankees. Bill Sudakis, Gene Michael. Bill Sudakis up there first. Hitless, 1-1 pitch. Sudakis swings. Ground ball past the diving second baseman out there and into right field. So Hermoso, no way to stop that ball. Sudakis on at first. Here's Gene Michael now. 0-1. Yankees have 4 hits in this game. And Michael shows bunts. Bunt down the third base line, and a bad bunt it was. Bell fires a strike on the second. And they get the lead runner. So Gene Michael needs to get back to bunting school. And here's Jim Mason, 0-1. 1-2 pitch on Mason. Looks at called. Strike 3, forkball action. So 2 down, Gaylord Perry with 3 strikeouts in this game now. Back at the top of the order, Roy White, he's 0 in 2 attempts. Here's the pitch. White swings, grounder to second. This should end the inning. And indeed it does. As Remy Hermoso up with it for the 4-3 putout. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. And a runner stranded. We head to the top of the 6th. And the score is the Yankees 1 and the Cleveland Indians 0. Frank Duffy, Remy Hermoso, and John Lowenstein do up for the Indians. 1-1 pitch on the way to Frank Duffy. Duffy swings, number back to the mound, and Mel Stoudemire has it, gloves it, and gets it on to Mike Hagan. 1 up, 1 down for the Indians. Remy Hermoso. Count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swung on. Fly ball, center field. And that is Bobby Mercer ranging to his left, and he will grab it for out number 2. All right, John Lowenstein back at the top of the order. 0 for 2. 1-1 pitch on the way to Lowenstein. Swung on, and just over the head of the first baseman, and that breaks up the no-hitter. So Cleveland gets its first base hit with a hard line drive over the head of Mike Hagan. And now Stoudemire working on a 1-hit shutout. Tying run aboard for Oscar Gamble. 3-0 pitch. Gamble checks a swing. They appeal down to third, and they say that he did not go around. So all of a sudden, the no-hitter goes away with a line drive and a walk. Brings up George Hendrick with 2 down here. 1-0 pitch. Hendrick swings and dumps a little flare into left field, and Hendrick's going to have himself an RBI. And just like that, the Cleveland Indians tie the game. It's now 1-1. So from a no-hitter to a tie game, and just a good old pitcher's duel here. Gamble at second, Hendrick at first. 2 down for John Ellis, who was 0 for 2. Count 4 on Ellis. Popped out his last time up. Slow grounder to third. Not a problem for Nettles for the 5-3 putout. The Indians pick up a run on 2 hits and 2 left on. They tie it up as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. There you go. So Mike Koss bringing some good mojo there to Mr. George Hendricks as he gets the RBI. So 1-1 your score here in the bottom of the sixth. Pretty good ball game, to be honest with you. And here's Mike Hagan. Hagan, Munson, and Mercer due up for the 74 Yanks. 3-1 pitch to Mike Hagan. Singled his last time up. And Hagan's going to draw the walk. Second walk issued by Gaylord Perry in the contest. And here's Thurman Munson. 1-for-2 with an RBI. 1-2 pitch. Munson swings and charging in hard in center field. And pulling it down is George Hendrick. So Hendrick with the RBI and a good hustle play out there in center field. One down for Bobby Mercer. Bobby Mercer, 0-for-2. Here's the pitch. Mercer swings in the first pitch, grounded short. 6-4, but no 3. So Hermoso decides not to try to turn as Mercer getting down the line quickly, I should say. All right, here's Ron Blomberg. He is 0-for-2. 0-2 the count. He grounded out to Chambliss last time up. Swung on, grounded to short. Should end the inning, and indeed it does. Duffy goes the 6-4 route. Close play out there at second. New York picks up a walk, and that's all. They leave a runner. We go to the top of the seventh. We are all tied up at 1. So Stoudemire will face Spikes, Chambliss, and Bell in the seventh. 0-for-2 for Charlie Spikes. Flew out to left center his last time up. Spikes, hard ground ball to the hot corner. And Greg Nettles across the diamond to Mike Hagan for the 5-3 putout. Chris Chambliss, 0-for-2. 0-1 pitch on the way. The lefty swings, and a little dying quail out there to center field. A dying quail, a flare. Texas Leaguer, I love the names that they have for the little base hits, the little base hits. All right, here's Buddy Bell now. He's 0-for-2. 1-0 pitch, and Bell, soft liner into left field. Chambliss will move to second and hold there. So Cleveland threatening here in the top of the seventh to break this tie. Frank Duffy, 0-for-2. Stoudemire has the sign from Thurman Munson. Here is the pitch. Swung on, and this one just popped on the infield, and moving in behind the play, making the play is Jim Mason. So this one just behind the mound. 2 down, 2 on for Remy Hermoso, who is 0-for-2. The count 2-0. Hermoso, hard ground ball to second, and that will retire the side. As Gene Michael has it. 7th inning stretch time here in New York. We are knotted at 1. And welcome in D. Scott Howard. Hope you're well today. And once again, we're not doing a pirate game here. Memory eternal to Bill Mazeroski. A heavy loss for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I think indeed for Major League Baseball. Another great one gone to the big diamond in the sky. Craig Nettles, Bill Sudakis, and Gene Michael due up for the Yankees here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Gaylord Perry has the sign from John Ellis. Here's the pitch to Nettles. First pitch swinging. Nettles, hard line drive deep to center field. Back on it is George Hendrick, fouling off Spikes. So Hendricks having himself a pretty good day at the ballpark, thanks to the one and only Mike Koss, a Blue Rose case. All right, here's Bill Sudakis now, 1-for-1. Count, no balls, 1 strike on Sudakis. Little number out in front of the plate. Sudakis ripping down the line, and he's going to have himself an infield hit. No, it's not going to be a hit. It looks like that John Ellis Butcher or error, well, the play-by-play, which I don't look at, but I saw the Butcher up there. So checking the care when I see what's going on. So it looks like it's an error on John Ellis, E2, and that puts a runner on for New York Yankees. And here's Gene Michael. He is nothing for two. One down, bottom of the seventh inning. Michael shows bunt. This one fouled away. Perry to deal again.
Strike three.
Swing and a miss. Strike three. Gene Michael chasing that one out of the zone. Gaylord Perry, that time, a little bit of sandpaper, a little bit of Vagisil, a little bit of Vaseline, and just for good luck, a little bit of Quaker State motor oil. All right. So today's game is brought to you by all makers of lubricants, industrial or otherwise. So get your lubricants wherever they're sold and tell them Gaylord sent you. All right, here's Jim Mason. He is nothing for two. 1-2 pitch to Jim Mason. Mason swings, tap back to the mound. Should be no problem for Gaylord Perry. Bit of a high throw at first, but they get him anyhow. Yankees strand one. We head to the top of the eighth. 1-1. Tessier Ashpool, he says, very cool shutout. Welcome in, buddy. Just watched the Game 7 walk-off homer in the 1960 World Series. Someone posted it in the baseball subreddit. Yeah, Bill Mazeroski. I was at work yesterday and had some downtime, and I looked and they said Pirates remember Mazeroski. I'm like, what? So it was just last week. We had JT Dutch on here, making the case that, and he did, making the case that Bill Mazeroski is certainly a deserving Hall of Famer. Great stuff. Mike says his favorite audio is the ambient crowd with the airplane. I think this one is somehow an action PC as well. Yep, just screams sitting at a game in the summer with a beer and a dog. It sure does. We're supposed to get a big old snowstorm here in the Commonwealth, but right now there's nada on the ground, and I'm hoping it remains that. But yeah, it does. Action PC, I like the hot dog vendor too. Hot dogs! Get your hot dogs! I love that guy. All right, back at the top of the order for Cleveland, top of the eighth, and it'll be Lowenstein, Gamble, and Hendrick. 1-1 your score here. Tight ball game, huh? Good pitcher's mound, or good pitcher's duel. Lowenstein on the 3-1 pitch, lets it go by as Stottlemyre misses the curveball, and Mel Stottlemyre's day is done. So coming on to pitch now for the New York Yankees, Sparky Lyle. Sparky Lyle making his first appearance. Again, just messing around starting with this project. But let's look at Sparky Lyle here. 1967 to 1982. So in Sparky Lyle, looking at his numbers in 1973, 5 wins, 9 losses, 27 saves, a 2.51 earned run average. Sparky Lyle struck out 63 and walked 18. Gave up 4 dingers that year. All right, Lyle has finished his warm-up pitches. Oscar Gamble in the box, and Oscar nothing for 2. Lowenstein, decent speed out there at first base. And the port sider Lyle ready to deal. Count full. Gamble swings, hard ground ball to first, and this will be taken 3 unassisted. And did they get 2? And no, they do not. So good heads-up attempt there by Mike Hagan to try to get the double play. But here's George Hendrick now. 1 for 2 with an RBI. Hendrick ahead in the count, 3-1, and he's going to take inside, ball 4. So Sparky Lyle loses George Hendrick, as Mike was talking about, a very good hitter who's rarely talked about. And Hendrick with the RBI for the Cleveland Indians that knotted this game up in the 6th. All right, John Ellis, nothing for 3, would like to exonerate himself from that error in the 7th inning, which really didn't cost anything anyhow. 2 on, Ellis, bouncer to first. Oh, and we got an error. So Ellis, who errored last time, will take advantage of the Mike Hagan error. So E3 And now these teams are tied in every category. Bases sold out for Charlie Spikes, who's nothing for 3. Lowenstein at 3rd, Hendrick at 2nd, and John Ellis at 1st. 2-2 pitch from the stretch. Strikes out, looking with the bases loaded on a breaking ball, and it's up to Chris Chambliss to try to bust things open right here. Chambliss 1 for 3. Sparky Lyle works in the stretch, and the 0-2 to Chambliss. Forget it. Forget it. Fastball, Chambliss chasing inside. Cleveland leaves him loaded. You go to the bottom of the 8th, 1-1 is your score. Hoping the storm busts. Yeah, I'm over winter, man. I'm so over winter. Ridiculous. I was over winter on the cold Thanksgiving we had, so I was over winter already in late autumn. WW squeezed in their chilly softball game opener, DEH. Nice. Doubleheader. Sweep here in Northwest Washington yesterday before the rains came. They are ranked number 3 in Division II preseason pool. Always iffy weather in February. But at least you guys there in Northwest, up there in Washington, on the correct side of the mountains over there, if you like better weather, you guys are iffy in February. We're like, baseball, softball in Pennsylvania in February. So at least you got to go out and see some bat and ball game live. So if you're anywhere north of Florida or Arizona, you're waiting. All right. I think World Baseball Classic, I believe, I think that's next week that starts. Is that next week or the week after? I usually don't follow the World Baseball Classic, but I'm so baseball starved that I think I will be this year. Oh no, yeah. So it should be not next week because you're going to be able to play. And sorry, the sound cuts out. That is an out of the park thing when I switch screens. So it's going to be, I guess, the second week of March because Out of the Park Baseball releases Friday, March 13th. But you can get an early access if you buy it directly from the developers. You get the access to the final beta on the 10th. Northwest is in. Mike says to Scott, Northwest is on his bucket list. His wife loves Seattle area and he's been out there a few times. Never been to the Pacific Northwest either, but I would love to. Love to be there, man. I think that would be super cool. Okay. Sorry, I've got a little bit of a... I don't even know what this is. It's probably some bullshit text. Who knows? Man, I'll tell you what, these car dealerships just they don't stop, do they? They just don't stop. All right. Roy White in the box in the bottom of the 8th inning for the New York Yankees. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Grounded out his last time up. And this time, liner in the corner, all the way down into right field. Just going to rattle around there. And Roy White will slide into second and lead off double. Go-ahead run on board for the New York Yankees here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Brings up Mike Hagan. Mike Hagan is 2 for 2. And the count is 2-2. Walked his last time, looks at a called strike 3 on a sinker. And that will be all for Gaylord Perry. Cecil Upshaw will come on and pitch. Let's look at Upshaw's numbers in the previous season. So 1973. Oh, well. So this will be his last year in baseball. So Upshaw, whoops, let me look at his pitching. I'm sorry. His penultimate year in baseball. So Upshaw traded from the Indians to the Yankees in 1974. So let's look at his 73 numbers: 2 wins, 3 losses, 1 save, a 4.46 earned run average. Interesting choice that they bring in here. Mike, That is a huge compliment. I'm just hanging out, but thank you for that. That's. I mean, wow. Thank you. I'm just a dude, man, just doing this and having fun. But thank you, Paul. How you doing? I noticed no pocket pennant run update yet, so something must not have passed your muster. I appreciate you, Mike. Big time. My thing is, if we're creating a family here, that's what is the big thing. So, Paul, how are you doing, brother? So I was out last night, and I was thinking when I got home, I'm gonna be playing some. It's signed off. So is it gonna be released today? Tonight? We'd love to do a pocket pennant run game tonight, if it's possible. I miss it, brother. Coming in a few hours. Pocket pennant run baseball tonight, folks. Yay! We'll do pocket pennant run and something else too. So thank you, Paul. Looking forward. This is going to be a pretty good update, guys. I know Craig is very excited about it, but Paul, it's got to get past Paul, and when it does, it's a good game. A lot of great things have come to Pocket Pennant Run and are coming in 2026. What a bargain that game is! A great baseball game. So you're going to be in bed, but you send me the toolkit that comes with it. Thank you, my friend. Mike letting Paul know. He says, Paul, appreciate everything you do. Looking forward to the next update. Yes. All right. Let's continue here as it is 9:47 p.m. for Paul in beautiful island of Cyprus. Roy White in scoring position, one down for the captain, Thurman Munson. Cecil Upshaw ready to deal. Flew out to center his last time up. Ground ball base hit into right. Does Thurman break the tie? The throw to the plate hits the cutoff. Thurman Munson with a single. RBI single, and the Yankees take the lead here in the bottom eighth. It's 2-1, and Thurman Munson advances to second on the play. All right, here's Bobby Mercer. New York faithful waiting for the center fielder to do something with the wicket in this game, but thus far 0 for 3. Munson, no speed at second. 3-1 pitch on the way to Mercer, grounded to short his last time up, and he's going to do the same as the runner is looked back, and Frank Duffy doing 6-3. Here's Ron Blomberg. Also nothing for 3. When we go to the ninth for the Indians, it'll be Bell, Duffy, and Hermoso. 1-1 pitch. Swung on. Fly ball, center field. And back on it is George Hendrick making the grab. The Yankees get a run, 2 hits, and they strand one in scoring position. Top of the ninth, New York Yankees lead the Cleveland Indians through April 6th, 1974, 2-1. And Buddy Bell leading things off. He has a hit in 3 tries. Sparky Lyle has worked an inning in relief. 2 whiffs and a free pass. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Buddy Bell singled his last time up. Cut on, and this one ripped into right. So here we go, the tying run aboard for the Cleveland Indians. And Frank Duffy will stride to the plate. Nothing for 3. Let's see if Cleveland goes to its bench. It will not. 1-2 pitch. Duffy, late swing and a miss. Steed to right 3. That was as Ernie Harwell would call it, a Linda Ronstadt pitch. Blue by you. All right, Remy Hermoso. If I was managing Cleveland, I'm going to the bench. I just want to see who they have on the bench. I'm not managing. So, well, then again, maybe not. All right, yeah, my Facebook is working now, Paul, so I will definitely check it every day. Doug, there he is. Man, oh man, how about it? Yes. He says, hello, Beatles, and all memory eternal Bill Mazeroski. Yep, just want to give out a shout out to one of the most beloved Pirates. What a humble man. You know, I'd never seen it before, Doug, but I saw his Hall of Fame acceptance speech yesterday. And I mean, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful speech. I mean, he broke down, but it was kind of funny because he said, I have 12 pages here. He's bringing up this it looked like a ream of paper. He said, this isn't me. Yeah, this isn't like me. He said, but I thought when the Pirates, retired my number, that was, the greatest thing. But he broke down and, to be inducted to Cooperstown. And, the cool thing, if you watch it, the Major League Baseball one. I mean, the Don Kelly, the Pittsburgh Pirates manager, the Pirates did their own homage to Maz, but just the way opposing players talked about Mazeroski and his prowess at second base, and he was there every year for the team, and most double plays are returned by a second baseman in baseball history. Nothing to sneeze at. So we miss you, Maz. We miss you. All right, Buddy Bell at first, 1 down. Sparky Lyle looking for a little 2-ball action to end this game right here. 3-1 pitch on the way. Hermoso grounded out, and Sparky Lyle loses him. So the tying run in scoring position here for the Cleveland Indians brings up Dave Duncan. So they're finally going to the bench. So we got to look at Dave Duncan's numbers in 1973. So let's see, 95 games for him. 17 home runs, 43 runs batted in, a .233 average. Looks to be about the best chance for the Indians coming off the bench. 10-time All-Star. Doug, I'm cautiously optimistic for our Pirates going into 2026. And this Connor Griffin kid, scary power. We'll see. I hope that all the hype going on about Connor Griffin isn't going to scare the bejesus out of the kid. We've been looking elsewhere for that one big bat. I don't know that he's ready for the big show this year, but you nurture that kid and something special. Maybe not have to look any elsewhere for the big bat. We'll see. I like our rotation. I think Marcelo Osuna was a nice addition to the Bucks. So feels good this year. Dan Plesac was even talking about, he said, if I'm a Pirates fan, I'm feeling good about this team better than I have in the last 4 or 5 seasons. So guarded optimism, my friend. A lot of people are predicting that we could contend. I don't think that's this year, but I do believe we're going to make a much better showing. 1-0 pitch on the way to Dave Duncan. Duncan swings, fly ball, lazy fly ball to right field, and Walt Williams has it, who somehow got into this game, didn't realize Walt Williams was in there. 2 down, and it's down to Oscar Gamble. Maz set the double play record while throwing to the worst fielding first baseman. Yep, how many did Dick Stewart drop? So, and somebody said that the other day too, right? Is how many outs did Maz lose? Larry, how you doing? What is my Facebook? Well, let's be my real Facebook name. You're in the Discord, so I'll give it to you in there. Okay. So my Facebook name is my actual name. Doug Hunt says, by the way, Emmanuel Valdez just hit grand slam there in spring training to take the lead against the Phils, 4-1. We'll take it, and we beat the Orioles yesterday. By win, do you mean winning season or playoffs? We're not going to, I don't think, Alex, welcome in. So, Doug, meet Alex, who's let you from home. So, 2 big Buccos fans in here. No, I think we're gonna finish over 500 this year. But no, I don't think we're going to be in the playoffs this year. I think that, yeah. Okay, well, Larry, as soon as this game's over, I'll get you back in the Discord if you're not in there, and then I'll send you my Facebook name. All right? I'm just, I'm loath to kind of put my real name out in a broadcast because INS and all that stuff, right? 2 on, 2 out here in the top of the ninth for the Cleveland Indians. This has been a fine ball game. Sparky Lyle now to deal to Oscar Gamble. Not a bat to be trifled with, but so far, Gamble doing nothing with pinstripe pitching. 1-2 pitch on the way. Rounded the first last time, Oscar Gamble. That's your ball game. The New York Yankees take a squeaker, 2-1. Let's look at our game recap. So the Yankees rallied to nose past Cleveland. New York Yankees ushered in the 1974 season with a win versus the Cleveland Indians at Shea. The final score was 2-1. Mel Stottlemyre, who led the American League in innings pitched with 291 in 1965, had a standout performance. The game was at a stalemate until catcher Thurman Munson came to bat in the bottom of the eighth, facing Cleveland pitcher Cecil Upshaw. He had a first pitch sinker for a run-scoring single. It was a game changer, putting New York on top, 2-1. For the New York Yankees, 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. For the Cleveland Indians, 1 run, 5 hits, 1 error. It was a fine ball game. The Yankees get their run in the bottom of the first, and then it was a whole bunch of zeros. Cleveland got that run back, tied it in the sixth, and then the bottom of the eighth, the Yankees do it. So always good to see left on base. So the Yankees stranded 6, for Cleveland stranding 10. And in fact, at one point, stranding with the bases loaded and getting just not moving the line, if you will. Gaylord Perry takes the loss. He went 7, 2 earned runs. It begins the season with a 2.57 earned run average. Stottlemyre went 7, gave up 1 earned run, no strikeouts, 1.29 earned run average to start the season. Sparky Lyle gets the save. Worked 2 in relief, walked 2, struck out 4, and player of the game is Mel Stottlemyre. 85 wins will get you in more than likely. I don't know that we get. 85 would be nice. But you know what? At this point, man, I'd be happy with 82 and 80. I let's I really let's give this team a chance. I know that we Bucco fans are not fans of Bob Nutting nor Ben Cherington, but Pirates more aggressive this time in the offseason. I think that we've seen them in a long time. So that's what I'm hoping. Well, since we got 2 Buccos fans in here, we're going to play a Pirates game. So maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk for a few minutes and then we'll see. Pocket pennant run will be due out in a few hours, says Paul. So we're going to do a pocket pennant run game tonight. Looking forward to it. I know I sound like a shill for pocket pennant run baseball, but it's just such a good game. It really is, and it's something special. Lots of things on the way, and you can, if you want to go the cheap route, $15 for the print and play version gives you access to the pocket pennant run software. But you know what? For $25, get the physical game. The cards are beautiful, and all that kind of stuff, and you still get access to that. Free lifetime updates and where the game has come. And tonight, if I remember, what's pocket pennant run? Asks Alex. Well, I'll show you, just in case you're not on later. Pocket pennant run baseball began life as a cards and dice game that fits in the palm of your hand. It literally does. It's the size of 2 poker-sized decks next to each other if placed perpendicular on your palm. And this is the companion software. So the companion software of the game, which is free if you buy the game, and the game is $14.99. And when I start giving you specs, I think you'll maybe like what you hear. You don't even need to roll the dice in this game. It's got a dice roller with it. So it really began life as just kind of a way to sort of print out cards for the pocket pennant run game. And back then the pocket pennant run game was just The player cards are basically just ratings, A, B, C, D, whatever. Neat game, but All right. Let me know if you can hear me. I don't know what the hell that was. Let me know if you can hear me, guys. Just say yes. Yes, no, maybe. That was just a crazy, I have no idea what the hell happened there type thing. So just give me a yes or no. If you hung in here, thank you very much. So hold on. Hold on. Just give me a yes. I see people here. All right, good. Thank God. All right, let me share the screen. I don't know what happened there, man. That was a bit of gobshite. All right, so let me explain, because I'll be explaining tonight, Alex, but I don't know if you'll be here when I'm back on. So with Pocket Pennant Run Baseball, um, it's really Pocket Pennant Run, the Pocket Pennant Run software really serves three purposes. It works as a digital version of the cards and dice game, Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. It works as a board game companion to any board game, any baseball board game that you have. It also works if you're playing Pocket Pennant Run Baseball to print cards, do whatever, and roll the dice that way. It also has the largest database of any baseball game out there that I know of. That actually has 8 databases on it. You can create real or fictional leagues and teams, and we'll get to Paul Fay's baseball commissioner. This isn't the newest one yet, but you'll be able to get that. That's free as well. You can quick play a game between any saved or database teams. Play a game from history. So this is where you can do season replays. You can also pick a date in baseball history, play the game. It's really, really, really wild what this thing can do. Great game. So let's say, Alex, we'll just go play a game from history. And you and I, we love our 1971 Pittsburgh Pirates. Although we should do one from 1960 for Maz. Although Maz is on the 71 team. Sorry to ask again. You asked on Super Bowl Sunday and had to bounce, but digital skybox worth the price? Yes, it is. Yes, it really, really is. So you had to, okay, because I didn't know that you left. But yes, it's definitely worth it. I got to get on my laptop, or else I got to send something to um, Stephen Galbraith, who maintains the site. $22 or something like that, lifetime access to it. And boy, especially if you're looking for micromanagers and stuff like that, yeah, it's worth it. And if you don't want to go the lifetime membership for $25, I think for just a little bit cheaper, it's like 14 for just a year. And there's literally thousands of managers in there. There's a lot of ballparks. There's some good home brews in there. And in fact, there's a really neat way that there's tons of creative managers on there, but and how you install it, it's really neat. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. Like, definitely worth it. Let's change this to 1960 for Bill Mazeroski, and let's select. So Alex, I'm putting in a team or a year, but what I can do is actually just have the game just pick a random date in baseball history. You can do it that way too. It's really cool. Or I can pick a date. So we have to pay it. You have to pay for it, but yes. So let's select. Let's just load the season schedule for 1960 so you can see the whole thing. There it is. These are as played lineups, as played transactions, as played. So you actually have the historical score, and we could do the Braves versus the Pirates. Milwaukee won that game, beat the Pirates 4-3 on the 12th of April, 1960. Um, and there is the entire 1960 schedule. And if we want to just go right down here to game 9 of the World Series, we could just play it right now if we wanted to. Again, it's $14.99. And before we go further, we are going to go to the website, because I like to. I think it does a much better job than I do describing what it does. What it does. Look, there's even one of my. There you go. There's one of my videos on it. All right. So this is Pocket Pennant Run. So just in the software, Alex, the database has over 316,000 players, 222,000 game schedules, and 196,000 games with as-played lineups. Has a pre-filled score sheet generator. Now, score sheets look great, by the way. It's got a roster card and Excel sheet generator, custom team and lineup creator, a game simulator, and it splits it up between dead ball and modern. I'll talk about that distinction, why it can be a little confusing. You can export stats to Excel and to the baseball commissioner, which you guys will see in a little bit. Historical replays and pre-filled score sheets with as-played lineups. The AI coach needs work, so I don't really stress that too much. You can generate fictional franchises if you want. That's not my thing. It will also generate individual player cards. And here are the leagues. So Major League Baseball, 1871 to the present. Negro League Baseball, 1920 to 1948. Japanese baseball from 1951 to now. The Korean Baseball Association from 2001 to now. AAA minor leagues, 2000 to the present, College World Series teams of 2021, the NCAA of 2022, and the only game to have them that I know of, the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League as well. So this is incredible. It's incredible. As far as the shop goes, the print and play PDF, we'll start with the cheap. $14.99 and get you lifetime access to that software. If you buy the base game, the physical game, it's $24.99. I went on and bought that and the mats and everything. These cards are superb playing stock. I know everybody, this is where you can tune out if you want. As a former, and hopefully soon to be again, but as a former professional sleight of hand artist, this card stock is so good. I would use this in a gig at the Magic Castle in LA. That's how good the card stock is. I don't know who does their cards, whether it's Card of Monday, whether it was US Playing Card or whatever. These are, and I'm not talking low end Maverick. I'm talking like World Poker Tour B Tally Ho grade cards. These are amazing cards. If you play the cards and dice game, you get these great neoprene mats that have all your charts in here. But if you just use the software, you don't even need any of this. So those are the specs on this. It seems to be unassuming piece of software. I buy the online game full price direct through website or Steam. You buy it directly from Pocket Pennant Run. This is not on Steam. And for the price for $14.99 for the print and play, there, and even for the physical game, they wouldn't make any money after Steam's cut. And it's a small team. It's Craig Harris, Matt McKeever, Paul Fay, but it's really Craig and Paul that are doing Pocket Pennant Run. Matt is now designing another game. Matt was the game's designer, but Craig Harris is the programmer. Paul Fay is the mad scientist idea man, and he's the play tester of this game. The cards are really nice, says Mike. They really, really are. Nothing better than listening to Ernie's play-by-play on Appa Baseball. Absolutely. Got to agree with that. Doug saying Pocket Pennant was a great game. Still needs some fine-tuning. It certainly does. It definitely does. For $14.99, and what will happen, Alex, and when you purchase it in your email, you'll get a link to download this software. So let's just play. We'll just play a few innings so you can see how this works. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to hit print play game. And we're going to wait for a minute. So you can change anything that you want here. Here are the lineups. These are the as-played lineups for 12th of April, 1960, opening day in Milwaukee. So you see the results. So you're basically, well, yeah. So, but that's with any game. I mean, just any game. So in out of the park baseball, action PC baseball, you actually, the seasons are in there, but this is, you actually can see them. And you can play whatever games you want, play out the rest. And then it's got A lot of stuff going on in this game. So let's go ahead and just play it so I can show you the flow of the game. All right, we're going to play advanced fielding, but I'm going to turn off. We're going to go to just normal pitching. I'm going to turn off the bullpen rule. We'll start doing it again tonight, but just to show you the game. All right, what's nice about this game too is, whoops, I don't want to change the dice. Duh. So let's just cancel that. Blah, blah, blah. All right, and I just want to do this. But you could change the dice. So if you were playing APA, you can customize your own dice, or you don't have to play it. You can just play it as is. These lines on here, this has range plays on it. This has the logos are proper to the era, and of course ballpark pictures as well. So a nice, neat, tidy download. And it will just pop everything in there. You can see the player cards here. So again, this is a cards and dice baseball game, but you don't need dice and you don't need cards because there they are. And of course, you got enough data to work with here. And so we can see here, for instance, in this game, above this line over here for the Buccos, that Roy Face came in actually as a relief pitcher in this game. So just really, really nice. So the way it works is you got 3 colored dice. You can see here you've got, this is the pitcher. Everything starts from the pitcher die. So you got pitcher, control, a defense plays, and then you have batting, left-right splits, power, and power is also a park check, and then speed. With those, that's all you need to play this game. So let me show you how to play it. Real easy to play. New update coming out. Paul says in a few hours. So we'll be doing the new update tonight, and there's a lot coming and a lot more coming. So Warren Spahn will face Bob Skinner here in the top of the first inning. And let's look at our Pittsburgh lineup here. It'll be Bob Skinner, Dick Grote, Roberto Clemente, Dick Stewart, Don Hope, Gino Cimoli, Bill Mazeroski, Hal Smith, and Bob Friend. So it'll be Bob Friend versus Warren Spahn in this game. So all you do is click the dice. All right. And so the red die is always the pitcher die. We see that's a 10. So as soon as you see bat, you look at the 3 here. We'll go over here to bat, 3. And this is just going to be a ground ball to Eddie Matthews, 5-3 put out. Click on the out and do 5-3 and 1 away. Batter up. All you got to click. And here's Dick Grote. It's going to show you his stats from last year. I've been begging them, begging to put the RBI in here because there's a lot of real estate, but I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not. All right. Anyhow, here's Dick Grote, 325, 2 homers in 1960. Here's the pitch to Grote. This is going to be a control 7, and Warren Spahn walks Dick Grote. So we go to select hit. And so the nice thing about this, Alex, is it's very zen. It's very, very zen. They got a lot more ideas coming to it, but I just love it. It's calming. You just get to play baseball, and it's really, really fun. So everything also I like visually color. You see there's a little, we need Pittsburgh Pirate meeples, though. They kind of got missed. Because you can make your own meeples in this game. But you can see here under Joe Adcock, right? He's green, so he's an A-rated fielder, as is Hank Aaron. Bill Bruton and Al Spangler are B-rated, so they're very good. And then you get down to Red Schoendienst, who had great things to say about Bill Mazeroski, by the way. Schoendienst, average at second. Johnny Logan, not so good at short. So there we go. And of course, our runner aboard here, Dick Grote, was not fast. So, and as I said, this also acts as a board game assistant, but I know you don't roll cards and dice, so we're not going to worry about that bit. All right, here's Roberto Clemente, the great one, hit 314, 16 home runs. And here's the wine and the pitch. And we look on the pitcher dice. It's a control 2, and that's a strikeout. So that will be strikeout number 1 for Warren Spahn. And it's going to track what's going on and bring up the score sheet, because I told you the score sheet is it looks really cool. Let me bring this over to you and show it. This, I think, is just a beautiful score sheet. And again, you can just create these pretty much for any game that you want, but you do get these You do get the ratings for the game in here, but it doesn't. It's an at-bat score sheet, and this game actually converted me to at-bat score sheets as opposed to inning-style score sheets. And this will track and update as you go along. All right, let's get a batter up here, Fisher. All right, here's Dick Stewart, 260 batting average, 23 home runs. Spawn has the sign from Del Crandall. The wind and the pitch, and we got a range play out to left field. So we're just gonna, and this is gonna remind you, it's a blue die. It's a 3, and that's just gonna. I just click on that, and that's gonna be a fly ball to left as Spangler moves toward the foul line and makes the grab, and that does it for the Buccos. And we go to the bottom of the first. The Pirates 0, the Braves coming to bat. So once again, we can see these ratings, and so these ratings are going to change by year as well. So look at Maz. Maz, proudly their great second baseman. So A-rated second baseman, B-rated. Clemente, remember, we're still early in Clemente's career, so we're going to see Clemente in later years. That's not going to remain yellow. So pretty accurate. Bill Bruton will lead it off here against Bob Friend. Bob Friend, 299 earned run average to the 1960 Pirates with 183 strikeouts, 45 walks. Went 18-12 with the Buccos with 1 save in 1960. All right, Friend ready to face off against Bill Bruton with a 286 average, 12 home runs, and 97 strikeouts, 41 walks, stole 22 bases. All right, here is the wind and the pitch, and this is going to be a left-right. So what that means is if they were the same handedness, we would go off this chart. Since Bruton is a lefty, this is going to be a batter result, 8, and this is a base hit. So there's like no really crazy charts you have to look up or anything like that. Now you can see the little green dot here under Bill Bruton to represent that he had some speed. So if we went up here, we could see whether Chuck Dressen would like to call for a stolen base or not. And he says yes. Now, like any game, you can make your own house rules and things like that. And I'm missing comments, guys. I'm so sorry. Love the board game. Apparently haven't played it in years. So, yeah, nice. Yeah, this is really old school. But I absolutely love this game. I absolutely love it. Let's go ahead and see if the Braves want to start with a stolen base. Why not? So, now he's saying no. Okay, so we're not going to try to steal. All right, here's Red Shane Dean's 257 average, a home run, 13 runs batted into him. Here's the pitch and a range play to left field. So Bob Skinner, this is going to have trouble, and Bob Skinner is going to play it on the hop. So base hit for Red Shane Dean's. So runners on first and second for the Braves, nobody out. Again, won this game 4-3 historically, and here comes Eddie Matthews. Eddie Matthews, of course, a dangerous power hitter. 277 average for Matthews, 39 home runs in 1960. He did whiff 113 times, walked 111. All right, 2 on, nobody out. Bottom of the first here at Milwaukee County Stadium. It's also important to note here this pitcher designation because this will come into play on power checks or on park checks. So if that one comes up, we will, and we'll see. All right, so again, Bob Friend is dealing. We look, this is a left-right, and this will not come into play. So we're just going to look at a batter result 4, and it's a fly ball to Gino Tremolian center. So we just select out, and we select F8, and we select batter up. 2 on, 1 away for Hammer and Hank Aaron, 40 home runs for him. Here's the pitch to Aaron, and this one hit out to left field to Skinner, and this is going to be a fly ball out and a question mark tag. So we're going to see whether these runners are going to advance or not. So we just see it's a 10. We click there. So this is going to be F7 question mark. Or no, I'm sorry. Wait. I'm going to have to redo the play. I'm sorry. So you can do that. You can reset the at-bat. Okay. And then once you reset the at-bat, I don't have to roll it again for Aaron. All I have to do is select that out. And we said this was a fly ball 7 tag. So we could, but since it is a question, you can go either way. So house rule type thing, since there's 1 out, runner could tag. You could do that. He says, "Oh crap! I just had a thought. Replay Game 7 of the 1992 NLCS Sid Bream game. Yeah, just the Cabrera bat. We could do that. If you don't mind me, email the Discord link. I don't have to email it to you, man. I'll put it right in the chat. Let me do that for you right now, Larry. And then, if we were friends there before, so let me get you hooked up here, man. Let me get you hooked up. Okay. Never Greavy. And invite to server, copy, boom, and right in the chat she goes. All right. So since it was a question mark, let's go with our original choice of a fly ball to 7 question mark. Do we want Bruton to tag up for third against Bob Skinner? I'm going to say no, just this early in the game. Late in the game, I would. So 2 down, not trying to cheat the Braves. And here's Joe Adcock, the only man I understand to hit a home run onto the roof of Ebbets Field. 25 home runs in 1960 for him. All right, here's the pitch from Bob Friend, and this is a control 7, and Bob Friend picks up the strikeout. So nothing doing for the Braves. Despite 2 hits, they strand 2, top of the second. No score. I'm just going to go through now the flow. Not trying to call the damn game. You're welcome, Larry. All right, so we got Don Hoke up there. Don Hoke, Gino Chimoli, and Bill Mazeroski. So let Maz have it. Oh, you're very welcome, Larry. Cool. Glad you're on again. All right, here is the pitch. So this one is going to be a gapper. It's going to be a gapper into left field. So left fielder. So we're going to do this. So we do this, and the play is going to come up, and it's going to be a 2B7, right? So it's going to ask, do I want Don Hoke to stretch for third? So this could be close. I want to hold that double for Hoke, so I'm going to do that. But you can make your own choices. It's Spangler. They're both good rated. So early in the game, I don't want to try to run out of the game. Late inning, yeah, I would have set him. All right, here's Gino Chimoli. No homers for him, but a 267 average for Gino. And here is the pitch. All I have to do is click on any of the dice. Doesn't matter. Batter 7, and this is going to be a ground ball, but the runner's going to advance. So this will be a 4-3 asterisk play, because we can see here it's zone 4 with Shane Dietz. And by the way, Alex, I forgot to tell you, you can reposition fielders here too if you want. But let's go ahead and record this 4-3 with the runner advance. All right. So if you go to fielders and you can set fielder positions, this is really cool. So if we look at the Braves, they're strong in the outfield, but let's say I wanted Adcock to cover a little bit more ground. They're just too weak. There's not anything I can do on the left-hand side of the field. I could move Joe Adcock over to kind of help red Shane Dean Stout if I wanted, right? So our first baseman is right now he's in zone 6. I can put him in zone 5 and save changes. Now Adcock moves over. So taking advantage of his superior range around first. So that's kind of cool too. Just repositioning your fielders that way. You can also, of course, bunt, hit, and run in this game. It has a running box score as well as the score sheet and all that kind of stuff. So you can also export this into Baseball HQ, which I'll show later, which is a free, massive program written by Paul Fay, who is the playtester for this game, and again, the mad scientist behind it all. A few of my suggestions made it in the game, but Paul's the madman and the genius, and he run this through iterations. Like he'll play hundreds of games before he'll allow this thing to release. There was one time it was ready, but he found if he hit the space bar, the game would crash, and he tested for like another 100 games. So he's very exacting. All right, let's get a batter up here. And here he is, Bill Mazeroski. 11 home runs for him with a 273 average in the regular season in 1960. And Warren Spahn works out of the stretch. And this is going to be a left, right, and this is going to be a 1, and this is going to be try to the side. This is going to be, or not going to, it's going to be a ground ball double play to Matthews. So this could be interesting. Interesting. Ground ball double play. So let's say he's going to try to cut the run off at home. Let's see if we can get a 3 or a 5-2-3 double play. So when you go to this, there's two ways. So that double play is probably pretty rare. So when you you see, you're going to see there's no triple plays here, anything that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Baseball, out of all the sports, have the best game. I think you're right. Best gaming portfolio of any sport. It really is. I mean, I think Bernie said, and I don't think anybody was surprised at this. Bernie Strom did some research on this, and baseball is the most played simulation out of all other sports combined. And it makes sense. Yeah, it's a candy store for numbers. And when you see what Out of the Park 27 is bringing for numbers, it's mind blowing. It becomes a candy whatever, man. It's like just crazy what's coming in Out of the Park 27. So for an out like this, if we wanted to try to score that, so we're going to score this as a double play, of course. First fielder is the third baseman, all right? And then he's going to go home to catcher, all right? And then he's going to go to first, is he? I think he is. First base. Let's see what happens. There. Mazeroski tries to beat the throw and he's out, and that was it. Inning double play. Most of the times you're not going to get those weird double plays, but it can do them. So, I mean, that is Pocket Pennant Run, one of the many, 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 many things that it can do. If you have APA, but you're somewhere and you just have maybe just a little computer with you, and you're with the in-laws and they're driving you nuts, and you want to play baseball, but you can bring your big tower, and you forgot your dice, so you can do change dice, and this is set up to play APA. We can click OK, and there are the APA dice, right? Again, we can change dice, and there's the strat dice, including the D20. But so there's all these other games here. So you got APA, History Maker, Baseball, Payoff Pitch, Sports Illustrated, Baseball, Baseball Classics, On Deck, Season Ticket, and Strat. But you can also create your own custom dice, or if you're actually just rolling physical dice, now there's no dice down here. So whatever you roll would be the play. So let's say we got Al Spangler up here, and we're playing a game of Status Pro Baseball. So Status Pro Baseball. All right, Larry, been looking for you on the Discord, buddy. So you have a tendency. Alex says he has a tendency to not stay focused. Don't finish what you start. Need to play a full season Out of the Park and just take the time. And the nice thing about this game, I think, too, is you're clicking, you're kind of looking. I think this is one of those games I'll play a lot of times. I just want to chill. I don't want to. This is sacrilege. It's like I don't want to just sit back and listen to an Ernie Harwell game or even manage it. I don't want to get into to action PC, but I find this game to be just such a fine baseball game. And Doug's right; it does need some fine tuning. This is a very new baseball game, but I'm really excited about the update tonight. And I always do just the clean update. I don't have any special projects in here right now. So let's say we're playing fast action card game like Status Pro Baseball, which I think that's the way you got to play Status Pro Baseball. I don't think you'd be playing with dice. So we have a result with Al Spangler here, and let's say that Al Spangler gets a base hit. We just select base hit, and so we don't have to we just do it, and there he is. No roll of the dice. Batter up. Here's Johnny Logan. Let's say Johnny Logan hits into a 6-4-3 double play. Let's select out, and let's go to our double play, 6-4-3. There, he's erased. 2 down. Batter up. Let's do something a little bit weird. Let's have Del Crandall, even though he only had 4 stolen bases. Let's go ahead and say that Bob Friend walks him. Okay. And now with our next hitter up, we've got Warren Spahn. But let's just say that, yeah, we're gonna try here. So Del Crandall. Now you can see right here that you would have to roll dice to get a chance. So you're like, why would I? If I'm playing fast action cards, I can't. What am I supposed to do? A house rule? No, you just go right here, board game assistant, and let's say the Del Crandall is caught stealing. That's our result on that fast action card. Click caught stealing, and he is out, and that's 3 outs. So, and there are no dice or anything here. So many ways to play this game, so many ways to do it. You can call a game if you want, or what have you. We're going to go ahead and back out of the game, back out of here. You can run sims. This will track stats for you with good leaderboards. But the star of the game, and this is the old version, so I'm not going to show it yet, but it's the Baseball HQ app. But down here's the pick and print. So, Alex, what was the date of that rather than loading it in? If you remember the date of that game, the NLCS game in 1992, I'll put it in here and you'll see it and we can play it. It's that cool. The other thing that you can do is have the AI coach. It will just pick a random day in baseball. So they're picked in 2001. If you don't like that, you can hit that again until you find a year that you like. Pick a game and just play it. So you don't have to, this comes with every season in baseball, but you don't have to install seasons in this to play games. If you wanted to also just quick play a game, any saved game or database teams. So I'm going to give it a game ID of 1 just because, and I'm going to pick Negro League Baseball, and I'm going to pick the 1938 Kansas City Monarchs. Let's take them because why not? Where are they? Right there, right in front of my face. October 14th, 1992. We'll get back to that. All right, and I want to play the Monarchs against. Here's what I want to talk about. So it uses the terms modern and dead ball, and that's not, it wasn't the best verbiage that Craig could have used. If you're kind of a baseball history buff like me, the modern era of baseball actually begins in 1893. So, but they wanted a way to split up, and there's a reason why. So this cards and dice game will, if you're playing, say, a team from 1920 onward, and you're playing a team from the 19th century, the dead ball era, their cards will be adjusted so that they will perform as they would have in the dead ball era. Conversely, if the dead ball era is playing a team, right, they're the visiting team playing against a team from 1920 onward, right, and they're visitors, then their cards are going to be adjusted for modern era, or that live ball era. What I would have used a verbiage like live ball era, and or pre-live ball and live ball or something like that, because dead ball baseball is modern baseball, but that's okay. It's cool. It's not like a game breaker. So let's pick the Monarchs, and let's put them against the 1925 Pittsburgh Pirates, 101 years ago. It took us way too long to recognize and remember that World Series. So that's it. We just add the teams. So I want pitchers to hit. Nope. And let's select our starting pitcher. And just looking, well, actually, I am going to up a little bit. So I'm going to start Hilton Smith. I'm going to give him a fatigue of 8. And I'm going to start Lee Meadows. And I'm also going to give him a fatigue of 8 and click enter. And I'm going to everything looks fine here. What a nasty Pittsburgh lineup. That is a great one. And let's play. And you can find online, and by the way, guys, if you're interested in doing Negro League baseball in this, you can find the Negro League teams logos, put them in your logo directory here, and you've got them. All right, but advanced fielding, advanced batting, and the 1937 Monarchs are ready to play the 1925 Pirates. That's it. Really nice. Okay, but let's jump out of there because I want Alex to see this bit too. So again, play a game from history. All right, and let's do pick and print, and then our date is right 10/14. What a dark night that was for Bucco fans, huh? 1992. All right, show available games, and there it is. Atlanta Braves versus Pittsburgh Pirates. Print play game, and that's one of the things that's got to be fixed. There's a bug that I can reproduce that if you keep hitting the AI coach, and stuff like that. So you're going to get a few crashes, but no game is crash free. So all good. It's all good. But that's how you do it. It's worth it as I bring back up the old Steam library. And boy, there's a certain button I can't wait to push, and that's this one. But there, at least you guys can see the new banner, the new artwork this year for Out of the Park Baseball. It's super cool. I don't like the Paul Skeens isn't on there. He should be, but yeah. So that's it. Be back later tonight with some more baseball. That's it as far as broadcasts go. Yeah. So would I recommend this game to others? Yeah, sure. It's Out of the Park Baseball. So this is my most played game on Steam, is the Out of Park series. So 107 hours for this year, and 25 had 118. 24 had 251 hours in Out of Park Baseball 24. I've been playing this since version 1, so I definitely got my money's worth out of this bad boy. So that is all for today. You're welcome, Alex. You're welcome, man. Hope you'll join us. I'm not going to come on really late tonight. I don't know what other folks are doing. But I'll be on maybe a little earlier than you. But you're out in the Northwest, so or out in the West Coast. So probably be on around 10 o'clock, so 7 o'clock your time. Guys, thank you very much. And I'm sorry for the cutout. It was just a hard crash in my computer. I have no idea what the hell happened. So until then, family, till later on this evening, we'll see you around the batting cage.